Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Palmer, and I'm Director of Program for Breakthrough. This is my first summer with Breakthrough, and I'm truly excited to work with a fantastic program with a dual mission that is enriching the lives of so many people. Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia is now in its 26th year. Since 1995, Breakthrough has served more than 1,300 underserved students. We provide middle school students an academically rigorous summer with exposure to dynamic college students from around the country with the long-term goals for student success. Ultimately, the goal is for each Breakthrough student to graduate with a college degree from a 4-year college or university. Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia has served more than 300 college students as part of our Path to Careers in Education and other fields. During the 9-week fellowship, teaching fellows engage in 80+ hours of pre-classroom training and professional development and experience at least 60 hours of direct classroom instruction as a lead teacher and receive on average 30 hours of instructional support from a content-based coach. COVID-19 has turned the world upside down, but Breakthrough is resilient. We are in the midst of our 6-week virtual program, and we are making sure that the students and teachers have a similar experience to our regular in-person instruction, all while maintaining our Breakthrough culture. So who are we? We are Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia. I love saying the affirmations. Somebody can say it with me. We are Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia. We have high expectations. We commit ourselves to hard work, dedication, respect, fun, and above all, excellence in learning. We are Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia. Woo! So here are a few highlights from the past 6 weeks. So first thing, we ordered t-shirts, and I'm actually wearing one today, our virtual Breakthrough t-shirt, which is we gave that to the kids. So on Wednesdays, we would have our virtual field trips and guest speakers. And it just gave a feel of like, we couldn't be in person, but it gave us a feel of being in person. Our students enjoyed virtual field trips to Canary Springs and Yellowstone National Park, the Great Lakes to explore the coastal wetlands, and the Dominican Republic to explore the secret life of the coral reefs. We also journeyed to Broadway to watch Hamilton. The kids enjoyed, and we played a trivia game using the Kahoot app to test what they learned and to give them opportunity to earn slick points. We had fabulous guest speakers. Henry Lawrenson from the World Health Organization spoke to the kids about COVID-19. Our Breakthrough students asked some amazing questions, and Henry Lawrenson answered them all with pleasure. Victoria Wyeth came, the granddaughter of Andrew Wyeth, and did a wonderful presentation on his artwork. Victoria gave the students an assignment called In Her Room, where they had to design their own artwork and present it to Victoria, which was amazing. Our students not only had classes in math, science, writing, and literature, but also had the opportunity to participate in some amazing electives, such as Money 101, Intro to Italian, Intro to Chinese, and Protest Music and Society, just to name a few. At the end of the day, we had an all-site meeting where all teaching fellows, students, and program staff came together for announcements, trivia, birthday shout-outs, kudos for exemplary behavior in class, word of the day, and Breakthrough TV. Students were assigned to small learning communities called SLICs in the beginning of the program, so they would have the opportunity to get to know other students from different grades. The 6 SLICs groups are currently in competition for a pizza party, and today we found out that SLIC 3 won, and Deborah and I will be delivering pizzas to all the kids in SLIC 3 tomorrow afternoon. Also at the end of each week, we gave out a virtual bag of chips to 6 students who really demonstrated outstanding work for the week. Instead of a real bag of chips, we sent students a $5 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts, Wawa, or Rita's Water Ice. And yesterday, we had our second installment of our talent show, which was hosted by Teacher Devon, which you'll see some slides right there from. So this is our last week. I'm pretty sad. And while it's had its challenges, I believe that our students and teaching fellows learned and gained valuable experience in a virtual environment and had a lot of fun. Our students avoided the summer slide, the COVID slide, and now are prepared to go to school virtually. And we're looking forward to starting our fall program that will begin September 26th. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jamika Porter, our program manager, who will talk to you some more about our breakthrough culture.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to one of our first, and hopefully some of our last virtual visiting days of 2020. My name is Jamika Porter, and I am the program manager of Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia. I have been with this wonderful organization for almost 3 years. Thank you so very much, Michelle, for your inspiring words about Breakthrough and just like really sharing who we are and what we do. And now that we know what we do, I like to just tell you why we do it. So we begin each day with affirmation. Affirmations are positive statements. They can help you to challenge and overcome self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. Repeating these words often and believing in them, positive changes happen. And this is why we begin each day with affirming who we are. Breakthrough plays an integral role in the lives of its scholars, helping to guide them as they journey on life's pathways. Breakthrough not only provides academic enrichment, you will learn more about that soon from Aaron, it also provides emotional and social enrichment. Along the way, many students discover hidden talents. When I started with Breakthrough, I thought the students were so fortunate to find an organization such as Breakthrough to help them like really pursue their goals of higher education, building character, and teaching lifelong lessons and turning their dreams into reality using our core values of excellence, persistence, gratitude, and initiative. Four very simple words that have such high impact. As time moves on, I realize that we are the fortunate ones because we are so blessed to be a part of their greatness in its core. Now I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Stevens, our recruiting specialist extraordinaire, and she is going to tell you a little bit more about the recruiting process and also about her second love, coordinating the parent program. Deborah, take it away.
Good evening, and thank you, Jamika, for that. Good evening to everyone. My name is Deborah Stevens, and I'm the recruiting specialist and manager of the Parents Association. I have been with Breakthrough for 4 years, and I must say, although I enjoy day-to-day operations, I really love the recruiting process because it gives me the opportunity to travel throughout Philadelphia to various schools and meet with rising 7th and 8th grade students. These amazing students are usually recommended to apply to Breakthrough because of their overall academic excellence, which consists of test scores and good grades. Now, if I can just unpack it for you just a little bit. The application process involves the parents and the students and their families completing the application, which includes demographics, short answers, and essays, and a creative box. I get to learn a little more about the student. It gets even better. The fun part starts when I schedule interviews to learn more about the potential Breakthrough student. And I'd like to thank some of the board members for helping me with the interview process. I must say, though, the most happiest part of this job is when I'm able to send out an acceptance letter that says, "Congratulations, you have been accepted to Breakthrough." I also take time to meet with teachers and community leaders to increase awareness about the Break program. Because you say, why? And I say, why not Breakthrough? Everyone should know about Breakthrough. If you are interested in applying to Breakthrough for your child, or perhaps you know someone that could be a fit, please do not hesitate to contact me. I also manage the Parents Association, where we work together as a family to advocate for student families and support Breakthrough fundraising events. Again, thank you for visiting Breakthrough and welcome. And I will pass it back to Ms. Porter.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And it was really great to hear about how we get our students. And now that all of our guests have had the opportunity to find out who we are, what we do, and why we do it, I would like to introduce you to our student speaker for the evening, Mr. Anthony Taylor.
Thank you, Ms. Jamika. Good afternoon, Breakthrough staff and families. My name is Anthony Taylor III, and I'm going to the 8th grade at Harambe Charter School in West Philadelphia. I learned about the Breakthrough program when I applied to Girard College. The admissions director at Girard says that Breakthrough would be a great fit for me and suggested that my family should apply. She said that Breakthrough could help me with some problems that I'm having in my ELA class. She also forwarded my information to the recruitment coordinator. I started Breakthrough in the fall and attended every other Saturday. The teachers were actually really helpful. I continued with the summer program and I met new teaching fellows who again helped me with my ELA subject, and so much that I took pieces of what I learned while at Breakthrough and was able to score a perfect 100 in my ELA class. My plan for the future is to study mechanical engineer, law, or I may try out for the NBA because basketball is my favorite sport. During the virtual program this summer, I enjoyed seeing my friends again and being able to work with new teaching fellows. It has been a struggle for my family because we lost a family member to COVID-19. It has been difficult for me and my family, but each day we are pushing forward and doing what we need to do. Breakthrough is helping me deal with the pain. Thank you, Breakthrough.
Thank you so much, Anthony. You have done an amazing job this summer. We're so proud of you. Next, I am pleased to introduce my esteemed colleague, Aaron Prito, our Dean of Faculty. Aaron has tremendous experience with online instruction. He is a site director and an instructor for Global Online Academy and a history teacher at Germantown Friends School.
Michelle, thank you for those kind words. Before I start talking about what we did this summer in terms of our academics, I want to share just a data point I got from a New York Times article from June 5th. Students that we serve would have experienced up to 10 months to a year loss of education without a summer program. So let that sink in. Like the quarantine, right? With that quarantine time, it's the amount of the achievement gap would have been a chasm. So I share that information with the teaching fellows the day, like the last Friday of orientation. And I said that, the work that you're about to engage in is going to have exponential impact, and they were well prepared. So we realized a couple of things from the outset, that there are several limits with having virtual learning. You cannot get through the content. It would be a fool's errand to try and squeeze in everything you've done in the past. And you cannot in any way, shape, or form try to replicate your on-campus experience. You have to gear yourself to a virtual world. But what we can do is we can keep the growth mindset. We can keep the rigor within our expectations in the classroom. Thanks to Jamaica, we can keep as many aspects to the breakthrough culture. What we have, though, in this virtual environment that we not have on campus is we have the new opportunities to leverage online tools in this virtual environment. So for the first time, we now have research projects in literature and writing. In terms of math, it allows for the structure for different pacing for the students, as well as this, for the first time, we have after hours where students can meet Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with teaching fellows from the math department to get extra help. So while we have some setbacks with the quarantine, there are ways that we are moving forward. Sorry. So when we looked in terms of the content, and I touched on this briefly, in terms of the two approaches, we can go wide and shallow, or we can do deep dives in certain areas. And we chose the latter of the two. So we went deep, and this allowed us to achieve higher order thinking. So application, synthesis, and evaluation. It also let our students really hone their skills that will definitely help them at their next, whatever grade they're going into. So in terms of guiding how we structured our classrooms and the mindset that we have, I borrowed heavily from Global Online Academy. So one of the two modalities is asynchronous, and then another one is synchronous. Asynchronous means student is working on their own, while synchronous means it's face-to-face. So while you might feel that asynchronous doesn't have its merits, think about that student that's just waiting there in a class discussion to share their thoughts. Maybe a little shy, maybe they're still formulating the thoughts, but see, the conversation has moved past that point. In an asynchronous conversation, That student gets to reflect, then put in their thoughts, respond to their peers. You actually get to get that 100% participation of your class. That rarely happens in our brick and mortar. In terms of synchronous, you'll see the example from our amazing teaching fellow I'll introduce in a second, that everyone across the board use small group discussions effectively. They use the time, and I'll show you when I show the schedule in a second, to have conference check-ins. We were able to work with these students one-on-one. You don't get that until you work on your doctorate. Here this summer, our students were getting that. It's phenomenal. And I mean, when we talk about loss, one of the things that we all lost is that social personal connection. And while it might be virtual, our students were still getting that. And that's fantastic. So when we look at the schedule, where the schedule that we'll show you, it's not the schedule that the students received. The students just saw a big block of time. We want to make sure that we were set up for success and to avoid synchronous teaching throughout. So that work time at the beginning of each class, they met with the teacher first, then the teacher had opportunity to see who was where, push people ahead, remediate those who needed it. Students worked, they would come back for check-ins, and then there'd be synchronous instruction. It was fantastic sitting in their classes. All of this happened because Michelle had considerable foresight. I look back at my email chain and it was mid-April, and she was like, Aaron, we got to get this going. So thank you, Director Palmer. Your vision made this happen. Also, the teaching fellows, they're not signed contractually until June 11th. We had them going starting May 22nd. They were working online, forming a virtual community, and I got them going. They started looking at identity and what it means to be part of Breakthrough. So kudos to our amazing teaching fellows that gave up their time willingly. So I'd like to introduce one of those awesome teaching fellows, Teacher Gina. She's in the math department.
Thank you, Aaron. Hi, everyone. My name is Georgina Williams, and I am a rising sophomore at Harvard. In a few minutes, you will watch a video of a typical day of teaching or like a typical day of Zoom teaching in my 9th grade math class. The video starts off with me asking students to visualize what they want their lifestyle to be in 10 years. This kind of gets the conversation started so students can start to think about their futures and what they want to do in high school and after high school. Afterwards, the video will cut to a portion of the teaching that I share a video with students to introduce the topic of higher education and income. After the video that the students watch, they will be asked to reflect on the video. And in the end of the little teaching clip you guys will see, you can see how I connect back the topic of education and income to the math concept of systems of equations by showing students a graph and then using skills to analyze the graph and connect that those graph analyzing skills back to the concept of higher education and just higher education and income. Right now, I will pass it off to Satilia. Share out your response for us.
In 10 years, I want to have a house, a Tesla, a stable job, and not be in debt.
Gotcha. Is there a specific Tesla model that you're trying to look for?
Model 3.
Model 3. All right, I don't know what they look like, but that's cool. And Lena, share out your response, please.
I said in 10 years, I want to have a job and own my own company. But even if like I don't do it, I just want a job I like, and I want to own an apartment.
And you want to own, what was that second part?
An apartment.
An apartment, got you. Are you thinking about staying in Philly, Lena, or somewhere else?
No.
You want to get out? Do you have a state specifically that you're looking for?
I'm not really looking at the U.S. in general, just like anywhere else.
Anywhere else except for Philly. I know a lot of my friends did that. When they went to college, one of their criteria was anywhere else except for Philly, literally. So I feel you on that one. All right. So, and then Judson, did you add on? And a good life. Judson added on a good life. What does a good life look like to you, Judson?
Not on the streets.
Not on the street.
Not in debt, just like everyone else.
Got you.
Like a decent life, like decent living off of the job, and like that.
All right. And Jamel, do you want to elaborate on yours?
I said, in 10 years, I want to be the first round draft pick in the NFL because I really like football. So, yeah.
What team would you want to pick you?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Got you. Okay. Maybe I'll see you on my TV screen. And what is that? 10 years? Or no? How many years would it be, Jamel?
10 to 15.
10 to 15. Got you. Maybe I'll see you on my screen and I'll be like, I taught him. So that would be cool. How about watch this video? And this is kind of like an intro into how we're going to kind of structure this class while being able to connect it back to system of equation. Give me a second. Tell me if it's lagging or anything like that, just so that you guys are able to watch the video. Give me a second. The words go by really fast, so I'm gonna decrease the speed. All right, so two people, can you unmute and just share out what are your thoughts after watching that like 1 minute clip? Anyone want to volunteer before I put anyone on the spot? All right, how about Lena? Can you share out what are your thoughts?
I think for a country as developed as the United States, that we're really lacking education and like help for like low income areas.
Got you. Okay. And how about Prince? Can you share out your thoughts? Prince, you're on mute if you're trying to share.
The thoughts on the video?
Yeah, your thoughts on the video. Just after watching the video, reflect on it. Just what did you think when you were watching it?
I was thinking like about the obstacles I might have to overcome to like gain financial stability.
Got you. So I don't know if I ever told you guys this in class or like maybe when you guys watch my About Me video, but I am low income. I am first generation. So my sister and I are the first in my family to go to college. I was not born here. I was born in Jamaica. So I'm also an immigrant. And sometimes when you hear these labels, I know some of you guys might fit into those labels. Maybe you might not, or you definitely probably know someone who does fit into those labels. And sometimes when you hear those labels, you think that there's like a path for you and that you might not be able to see yourself in other paths. And when I was deciding whether or not I would go to college, a lot of people told me, you think you can go to college, Gina? Why do you think so? Like, you're going to have to go through so much. You're not going to be able to afford college. But now I'm in college, and it's crazy because it's just surreal because you might not have someone in your family. Like, my parents didn't go to college in America. My parents, both my parents did not finish college. But it's crazy to be able to create that path for like my kids and for like my cousins to see that their cousin went to college. And I know some of you guys might be in the first in your family to go to college. And I just want to let you guys know, if you learn like one thing from this class, if there's not a path laid out for you, create your own path. If your parents or your sisters or nobody else in your family went to college or went to trade school or just didn't even finish high school, create that own path, be that change and be that next level, and just create that together. So I just want you guys to, just as a reflection of the video, some of you guys, Prince, I really like that you reflected and realized like these might be the obstacles you have to face. These are some of the obstacles that I had to face. And Leah, you talked about there's a lot that we need to do as an education in America. There's a lot we need to change, but you guys are the next generation and you can change that. So I just want you guys to think about that as we're talking about education and income in this class. All right, so I'm gonna help you guys out because we only have a couple minutes left of class. So we'll work on this a little bit more the next class too. So that cost line, when it's above the revenue line, that means that I'm actually losing money. So when that cost line is above my revenue line, I'm losing money. When the revenue line is above my cost line, I'm making money, I'm profiting. So when you look at 40,000 on the graph, let's say I'm gonna draw a line right up, 40,000 on the graph, and I look right there, oh, that cost money, that cost line is above my revenue line, which means I'm not profiting, I'm not making money. Jamel's getting a great deal. He's getting a lot of money, he's getting a lot of t-shirts, but I'm not actually making money from selling in my t-shirts. So that's how you're able to look. If I said, am I making money when I sell 20,000 shirts? No, because that cost line, right, the orange line, is above the revenue line, okay? Now you guys are probably wondering, what does this have to do with education? We're not selling t-shirts. When you guys look, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit later, but when you guys take a look at your graphs and when you look at your final project, you might see that one line is higher at one point, but then it starts to be higher at some other point. When you look at education, getting your higher education might cost money up front, but sometimes getting education can make you money in the future. So just like selling more t-shirts to Jamal would make sure that I actually get some profit, getting a higher education can actually make sure that you're making money over time. And I want to leave you guys with that thought to think about. It's not always the case because some people own their own business and they make a lot of money and maybe
Good evening, everyone. My name is Satoya Wright. I am the instructional coach for Breakthrough for grades 7, 8, 9, and I had the pleasure and honor to coach and collaborate with teacher Gina this summer. The passion that you heard in her voice in that quick snippet is the passion that she brought to class every single day. So I just want to shout out Gina, but give you guys a, yay, Gina, just contextualize it a little bit more. What you saw was the byproduct of hours and hours of work all the lessons that she presented in class are not generic lessons. You will not be able to go online to find any of those lessons because they are curated by Gina herself in collaboration with myself and her peers. So Gina also, that lesson highlighted a goal that we have for the math department in general. So when we're thinking about the transition to virtual learning, and specifically when we're thinking about STEM subjects, science and math, oftentimes students, especially from urban communities, already come into those classes disengaged from the content, already feeling no connection, like they cannot be successful. So our main priority was, how do we give these students high rigorous standards aligned material and content while having them investigate the social phenomenon and justice phenomenon, real world phenomenon that's authentic to their lives and what's being reflected around them. And so Gina did an excellent job of that. And she actually solicited students' feedback. Math traditionally is taught in a manner that is very rote, very plug and chug, but she solicited students' feedback. She asked them what topic they wanted to, and she continuously pushed the students to have active cognition, to engage with the material. And tomorrow we have our post-test, and I'm just excited to see the results and the outcomes of the growth that the students had. So shout out to Teacher Gina again.
Thank you, Satoya. Shout out to you also for your wonderful instruction of Satoya and all the teaching fellows in your cohort. We really appreciate your work this summer. You've been amazing. So I just want to say thank you all for joining us today. We hope you're excited about Breakthrough as we are, and its impact on our students and our future educators. We will now open up the conversation for questions.
Hi, everyone. I have a question about the teaching fellows. Gina, would you mind sharing a little bit about how you've grown as a teacher this summer and what your expectations are for the future with potentially a career in education?
I definitely can. Before coming to Breakthrough, when I was thinking about careers that I want to pursue in the future, I was on the edge of deciding between either medicine or education, or I just have a lot of interest, and education was one of them. And I think Breakthrough has genuinely solidified my interest in education. I think just seeing how I'm teaching, I've really enjoyed getting to know the students. I've enjoyed like what you guys saw in the video, like I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. And even if the experience was different over a virtual platform, I just feel like I learned a lot from my Breakthrough experience, and I definitely want to take this with me in the upcoming year, getting like participating in more education focused clubs on campus, even though we'll be online. And what was the second part? I remember you said something about, you said my growth as a teacher, and then in the future.
Just I guess, you know, if you were to think about like you and your fellow teaching fellows, I mean, how many do you think are likely to continue on in careers in public education or education more broadly?
I can't speak for all of them, but I know some of the ones that I've talked to have genuinely enjoyed, like, especially for the math department, we always talk about how our students kind of like, they just make us excited to show up every day and really teach them, especially when we're in office hours. So I know a lot of them are actually considering continuing in higher education, like in education in the future. And I know some TFs came in wanting to teach education, and I feel like this has probably strengthened their interest in education. But as I said before, I can't speak for all of them, but I've seen and I've talked to some of them, and I can speak for myself that this is definitely like, I've loved my Breakthrough experience. And I honestly would come back again next summer, and hopefully in person, so that I could do Breakthrough 2.0.
I heard that. I'm taking that.
Okay, Michelle.
Signed up already. Thank you. Can you talk about your Money 101 class and tell them about that a little bit?
Yes. So I just said I have a lot of interests. I like education, but I also like finance. So I had a Money 101 class with my elective students, and basically in the class, my students learned about like savings accounts. I talked to them about like finding a savings account that has a high interest rate as one of the things that they should focus on. We talked a little bit about credit cards. I told them basically credit cards aren't scary. They just have to know how to manage the debt. And we asked a lot of the students to actually communicate with their parents, and they actually talk with their parents about the finance tips that their parents gave them, and then we shared it out as a group. So we've touched on topics from like writing checks to savings account, and then a little bit into like stocks. And I've just really enjoyed, because that's one of my passions. So it's been great to have a platform where I can talk to students, especially since they don't, in traditional schools, we don't get that much financial education. So thanks for asking that, Michelle.
Thank you. No, that was one of the favorites, the students for the sign up. They were like, all the students were clamoring to get into that elective. So it was great. Thank you, Gina. I forgot to also introduce Miriam Leisman while we're on this call. Miriam is our interim managing director, and she's has so much historical knowledge of Breakthrough, has been in every single role you can imagine, and is responsible for helping us put together this day today. So I just want to say thank you to Miriam, and also while we have questions, just wanted to make sure you're introduced, Miriam. Thank you.
Well, I'll ask another question while others may be formulating their own. Satoya, talk to us about how often you engage with the teaching fellows and what your observations are on the growth of the teaching fellows over the course of the summer.
For sure. I would have to say, first and foremost, Breakthrough chose an excellent cohort. I mean, these individuals that came, I mean, Gina is a perfect example. They're just excellent individuals. All day, every day, often out 11 p.m., 12, 1 a.m. A lot of our texts, sorry, it's late. It's like, no, I'm up, but it's just great to see their growth, but more importantly, the hard work and commitment that they put into it. Oftentimes, the lessons that they presented in front of the students was their second or third run through. They did a demo with me, they did a demo with their peers. So it was just great to see their growth because they were committed to the students and truly committed to equity and aligning their practices with their personal beliefs and the beliefs of Breakthrough.
I can second that. Satoya was always there. I would text Satoya and ask her if she could hop on Zoom for 5 minutes or so, and she always said like, yeah, just give me a sec, and then we would talk for a while. So Satoya was a great coach.
Hi guys, my name's Aisha Collins. Nice to meet you all. I work at the Breakthrough National Office, but I was a teaching fellow many years ago at Breakthrough Atlanta. So I have a question for Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, for sharing your story with us, and definitely going to be keeping you and your family in our thoughts and prayers as you continue to push through. Can you tell us a little bit about what your experience was like at your regular school when it went virtual and things went online, and then compare that to how your Breakthrough summer has been? What's your preference? What have you learned from these experiences?
Okay, before the start of virtual, I just been in school, talking to my teachers, going to the after school program and communicating with them. When it came to everybody out of school and virtual, all that for school, they didn't have nothing under control. So they just put work on their website and we just did it from there. And it's different from Breakthrough because I actually get to learn more than I did when I was in school and during school. I get to learn more, and I get to talk more to teaching fellows and communicate with them more than I would communicate with my teachers at school. And I like that. So, yeah.
Well, I have another question for Anthony. Anthony, how is it spending this much time on a screen? Are you getting enough time outside to run around a little bit? I gotta believe being inside all summer is a bit of a drag, but I know it's in some ways unavoidable, but how are you managing with that?
I don't like, ever since Breakthrough virtual program, I don't like going outside anymore because I'd rather come to office hours and talk to my teachers. If I need help with more in my learning, I will ask them, and then I'll learn, just learn all day.
Anthony's someone you could count on to show up to every office hour. He's always there. He brings the same energy, if not like more energy at office hours every day. He's always there. It's always really fun to not only talk about math, but also like personal and get to know Anthony during office hours with the other math department TFs.
Anthony, can I ask a follow-up?
You may.
Okay, so I'm going to share screen for this because I'm the one who knows that this was you from Talent Show, since I put the slides together. So because I pulled these from screenshots, video shots, I don't have, other people don't really hear the story of your artwork, and why you draw, like what you draw, why you draw, how you draw, things like that. So could you just share a few words about like your talent for drawing and how often you draw, when you draw?
Okay. 2 years ago, I was in Atlantic City and I seen somebody that my mom knew. He was drawing for people, drawing them while they would sit on a chair, and he would draw them and they would pay him for doing that, and they would give him he would give them the artwork. And it really got to my attention so much that I actually wanted to draw, and I kept practicing for those 2 years. And my mom would help me, and my dad would sit next to me and like draw little stick figures, and he would tell me to finish it. Yeah, that's what got me into drawing. And then as I moving forward, I think I will get better into drawing more people than drawing little things. I think I can draw big things and sell them myself for money.
So you're working on your side hustle, is that it?
Yes, I actually have drawings nearby if you want to present.
Thank you.
Okay, so the one that teacher Miriam was showing, she was showing this one. This is actually the full picture. And you know, I just draw when I get bored after classes. I do this little dog because, you know, my future dog, but not this color. I do Tupac because he was one of my favorite rappers.
That's really good.
I do Pikachu because I used to watch anime all the time. And you know, I just drew a dog running because that's all my dog used to like doing. Yep, that's my drawings.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your drawings.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I was going to ask Michelle, is there, are there the majority of the students kind of continuing on in the fall?
Yes, the 7th and 8th graders, for the most part, will continue in the fall. We're about to send a survey out just because with now that the school district is virtual, we just need to figure out how, and we're just trying to figure out if we're going to be virtual. So once we know that, then I'll have a better sense of the numbers, but that's what the intention is for the 7th and 8th graders to continue on with us for the fall and the spring. Any other questions?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Taking the time out of your evenings, your commute home, as it were, for those of you who have a commute home, and joining us this evening to hear from Teacher Gina, from Anthony, from our staff, from our faculty. Really, truly welcome feedback at any time. Please feel free to reach out. I'll be sending some follow-up as well tonight. So please, thank you for all of your support, all of your ongoing commitment to the program. We're so grateful for everything that you do on behalf of our students, our teaching fellows, our program, And the last thing I have is don't forget to save the date for the Breakfast of Champions, which is Thursday, October 29th, 2020 at 8:30 in the morning.
October 26th.
October 26th, did I say 29th?
No.
Is it October 29th?
Thursday the 29th.
Okay, Thursday 29th. Sorry.
It's a Monday.
Okay, it's a Monday, yes.
So
Yeah.
we're good.
Okay.
But it's going to be a virtual event, similar and different from this. It will be, let's use the phrase higher production value. But well, we look forward to seeing everybody who can make it. And thank you so much for taking the time today to join us and visit our virtual summer site, such as it is. Michelle?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate your support. I just want to thank Anthony again for spending his evening with us 2 days in a row. Thank you, Anthony. You've been amazing. And we will see you in class tomorrow at 9:15. 4 days. All right. Everybody have a good evening.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
sure.
I'm Lorena Tolson. I'm a former Breakthrough alum, and Breakthrough always ends with a spirit check. 3 years I did Breakthrough. So I feel like it's only right if we have a spirit check, because if it's not a spirit check, it's not Breakthrough. So I don't know if somebody wants
man.
Anthony maybe?
Okay, so for anybody who's doesn't like their or who likes their ears, if you want to turn down your volume, I just want to warn you for the less program familiar people in the room. But other than that, go ahead, Lorena.
Go ahead, Anthony. Start us off. Spirit check. Spirit check. Breakthrough.
I'm actually going to stay on because I have some questions.
Okay, thank you, Lorena.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do it. It's just not right if there's no spirit check.
I understand. I understand.
I'm Breakthrough 2008, 2009, and 10. So maybe I'm like aging myself, but it's just not right.
No, it's spirit check is one of those things that things like affirmation, spirit check, all that in a bag of chips. There's some of those that it's like, oh, when is it program and when is it not program? Mm-hmm. And so when do spirit check and when do we not do spirit check? When do we do affirmation? When do we not do affirmation? And the rule seems to be critical mass of students and teaching fellows. So but anytime somebody asks for it, I'm glad to oblige.
Perfect.
That's my first spirit check of the summer. So thank you.
You're welcome.